Welcome everyone. This is Rajendran here joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to Market Profile and Option Trading Part 5. So in today's session, we are going to look into some simple option trading strategies using Market Profile and how we are going to look into this week, the current week of the markets, and what we can anticipate from the current week using the Market Profile structure. That is what we're going to discuss into it. In fact, we're going to discuss a lot many things. So before getting into the session, just give me the quick confirmation about the audio and video quality. In the meantime, in today's agenda, we are going to discuss about the new margin trading regulation framework, especially the option traders should know for the hedge trades. In fact, for the hedged trades, the margins are likely to come down from 1st of June onwards. So it's likely to get implemented shortly. And of course, we are going to look into some of the simple option trading strategies with respect to the current market profile scenario and how to analyze the market structure using market profile and market outlook for June expiry, what to anticipate for the next June 2020 series. I mean, in the immediate term, what we can anticipate and how other traders are positioned in the market. So that is what we're going to look into the today's session. So of course, there is a Q&A section is there. You can just give a quick confirmation about the audio and video quality. All right, thanks Jeevan, Pratik Patel, Jay Kumar, Nilesh Pawar, Jay Kumar Menon, Advin, Sagar, Durga Prasad, and everyone, right? So without any further delay, let's quickly get into the session. For the people who are very new to me, a little bit about me. My name is Rajendran. I'm the founder of Market Calls and co-founder of Webinars. In fact, this session, it's a 5-part series. We are in the final session of the 5-part series. Especially, it's a preview webinar we are doing for our upcoming mentorship program for Option Hydra, right? And here is my Telegram ID. My Telegram ID is marketcalls_in. And here is my email ID as well, rajendran@marketcalls.in. So if in case you have any queries on this session, or if you have any doubts on this session, you can anytime you can send me an email, or you can buzz me in Twitter at marketcalls_. So that's my ID. So let's quickly move on to the session. So I'm going to start with a very interesting setup here. So I'm going to start with this option setup, June weekly option series. If you are looking into the strangle, so first of all, what is a strangle? Strangle we try to identify from the current option price. I mean, from the current underlying stock price. So here is the current underlying stock price, 9580. So which we can approximately take this as 9,600. So we'll take upside 200 plus point strike wide. So that is 9,800 call option. And also equidistance from 9,600, another 200 points down, which is 9,400 put option, right? So if you see the last closing, you can figure out that option premiums of 9,400 is at 93 of put option. So put option 9,400 strike of 4th June, that is coming week expiry, is it at 93, and 9,800 call option, same June series, it is at 23 rupees. So ideally we are taking an equidistance price, almost an equidistance price. But you see the option premiums are skewed. Which side it is skewed? Downside or upside? Last week we discussed about it, right? We discussed about the skew, upside skew and downside skew. So what kind of skew it is? You can just type out in the Q&A section. It is skewed. So why it is skewed? Did anybody thought about it? Yes, of course. Pankit Gandhi is right. It's downside skew. It's a downside skew. So what is happening here is that you look at the IV, implied volatility is skewed more on the put side. If it is put side skew, so put side skew means what? It is downside skew. We call this as a downside skew. Now why this happens? Probably last couple of days it is not there, but all of a sudden it is there. Why is it so? it happens, of course, many people are commenting about that. Fear, right? So huge discount in futures. Of course, if you see in futures price last Friday closed at 9482. 9482. This is what Nifty future closed. Nifty June futures. June Nifty future closed at 9482. Whereas you can see that spot is at 9580. Almost approximately 100 points discount. So why it is happening? So 100 points discount. 100 points discount, naturally, that is also getting reflected in the options as well in the form of a downside skew. Right? That is the only reason there was a big difference is there. Such a discount, why it should have to happen? It happens. Probably there was an overnight risk is there. An event is going to supposed to be get announced. If you remember what was the event? The event is the GDP announcement last Friday evening around I think 5:30 or 6 o'clock it got announced. Let's talk about that later on. So that event is there. So event means uncertainty. Uncertainty means there is a fear is rising. People are expecting that there is a price can fall. So when I say people, who are they? Most likely institutional traders. So institutional traders, they hate uncertainty. Nobody knows what is going to be the impact of the results. Of course, everybody knows that it's going to be a bad number because of the COVID numbers and lockdown period and no manufacturing and production is not happening. So not much of an productivity is happening in the country. So everybody knows that it's a known thing that it's going to be a negative event. But still, unless the event is getting announced, it is going to be an uncertainty. So during that uncertainty period, what happens? Usually, institutions will go and buy puts to safeguard their portfolio. Because tomorrow, if there is any bad news happens and market drops in a big mode, which market doesn't do all the time, right? So stay calm. So you don't need to panic on this number. It is just an overnight. It will get adjusted. It will get arbitraged out at the Monday opening itself. Monday opening, you see that because now the news is out. Once the news is out, uncertainty is over. So these values will get arbitraged out. So you should not look into this number and you should not panic it. It's a natural thing. It's a natural phenomena. So that not necessarily, it doesn't mean like market will crash. Market usually doesn't crash on these kind of numbers, basically. Very, very rarely market used to crash on these kind of sentiments. But sentiment is that more institutions are buying puts just to hedge their portfolio. All right. So nothing wrong in that. That doesn't mean like market will crash on June, because last month in May, there was a big crash. At the start of the May month, first day of the May month, there was almost a crash of 500 points. So we had talked about it. In the start of the series, we talked about that 500 points gap down in SGX Nifty. That is how we started the first part series. So I don't think we will be keep on repeating the same thing. Monday also, I don't see a 500 points, 1,000 points kind of drop, big drop. I'm not seeing that. All right. Because the bad news is anticipated, but the numbers are, yeah, it's been bad, but it's very well anticipated. And of course, if I am able to anticipate that the institutions are there for quite a long time, they would have been anticipated and that kind of news would have been discounted. But still, the fear sits within the institutional traders. The thinking will be, what if there is what if going to happen if there is going to be an uncertainty? What if the other people are going to react? So what if the other institutions are going to come and react? So naturally, they will go for puts to secure their investments. And naturally, once uncertainty is over, they will close away all those positions. If you see the June monthly straddle also, you can see such kind of skew. This is June monthly strangles. Still, you can see similar skew. It's a very big one. So 248 and 136. The difference is still 100 plus points. 100 plus points skew, which is a very big thing. And if you see that June strangles, right? So the lower break-even is at 90-14 levels, 90-14 levels, and the upper break-even is at 10-184 levels. What I'm thinking at this point of time is there are higher chances are there that this series we are going to likely to trade in this range. Very high possibility that we are going to trade in this 1,000+ point range between 9,000 to 10,200 levels. So this is a possible rough range for the series, which has a higher odds for the series to trade within this band at this point of time. But let's look into even more deeper details. Let's see whether this view is going to be convincing view or not, or should we have to have a change in the opinion. Let's look into some more data points so that our view gets into objective, so that we can prepare for the Monday's trading session. So last week, this was the market view I had presented. I said current trading sentiment is positive by the time Nifty was around 9,040 kind of levels. Right? And I'm expecting an immediate trend is up on the higher odds at 9240 and 9320 and 9350 levels are possible in this series itself. Also given a stop loss levels also with 8940 as a stop loss levels. Probably the people who haven't watched the video, you can go back and watch the previous series. So why we had taken this view, we had done an almost 2 hours plus of conversation, why we had arrived to this data point. Now, similarly, we are going to arrive to a data point for this series also by looking into the structure and how we have to position yourself, because this series is coming up with an event. So we got the event, right? So we got the annual GDP event. Of course, you see that the GDP is dropping down and it is very well anticipated, nothing new over there. Both the annual GDP also falling and the Q4 GDP, which is a new methodology, right? It's a newer methodology, which is also falling to 3.1%, which is very well anticipated. So let's ignore that. Usually market doesn't care much about the GDP levels. In fact, when the GDP was at 8.2 levels, even the market started falling almost 1,500 points. When the GDP is dropping down like crazily, still markets are trying to stabilize over here in the last couple of quarters. So what we are going to do here is forget the fundamentals. We are just simply going to forget the fundamentals. So we're not going to take these numbers seriously, or we're not going to take any inputs from these numbers. We know that numbers are there, so it's better to wait for the event to get over. If you're an option trader, you should not bet before the event, such kind of events. Especially buying puts is a dangerous idea, right? Buying puts is a dangerous idea because Monday market opens casually, there will be a lot of erosion will be there. Even if the Monday opens around 9,500, even if there is 100 points fall in there, or 80 points fall there, 80 points Nifty is falling, this put premium will erode, because a huge thing is getting priced. So not only, if you see the structure, not only the puts are priced higher, calls are priced lower. Can anybody say why the calls are priced lower? Just think about it. Not only the puts are priced higher, calls, suppose likely a 200 point wide calls, right? It is trading at 23 rupees. We don't have any holidays. Now what is happening here is, most of the traders are buying puts, and the option sellers, most of the option sellers, for safety purpose, they don't want to buy puts because they know that numbers are going to be negative. For safer side, they are trying to write calls. They're trying to write calls. They're not touching the puts. They're not writing puts. Most of the option sellers, they're writing the puts. So calls are getting more and more cheaper here. So what you have to do here? Ideally, you should be doing nothing. You should be waiting for the event to over, let the market react, and then you should come and take your trading decision, whether you are going to do intraday long or intraday short. Of course, I believe Monday there could be a better intraday trading opportunity. So let's look into even more closer. Let's look into the structure. So we know that this is a standard procedure we'll be following on every month. We look into the top-down analysis. We look into the monthly, weekly, and daily charts. And also we even move to the lower time frame. And then we'll start looking into the volatility. We try to understand what kind of volatility is happening, whether volatility is increasing or decreasing. What is the rate of volatility? And we'll be looking into strangles. Strangles, of course, we are right now in the moderate volatility. If you still see the volatility, the implied volatility is still around 22, 23 levels. And we'll be checking the monthly open interest. Of course, this is a standard procedure I follow on month basis. So monthly chart, still the trend is clearly down, right? So monthly chart has been still clearly down. Last 5 months it is down. It keeps on making higher highs. So probabilities are there. This series we can break that winning streak of 5 times of consecutive formation of higher, lower highs. Lower highs. Probably this series it has all the odds of ending down. Last series it haven't done that, but this series had a higher odds of ending down, and most likely this inside bar last 2 weeks, last 2 months, if you see, it's a two inside bars has been formed. A big volatile bar, a big volatile March. March is a high volatile month. High volatile March, high volatile March, followed by two inside bar. These two inside bars, despite all the negative tension, is what is the volatility. This is what ease out the tension. Is the tension in the markets. Tension in the markets. So this is what it is able to control the tension. Now we know that tension has came down in the last 2 months, which we've been anticipating for almost every series. We've been talking about that volatility is slowing down, volatility is slowing down. So you have to come up with the controlled expectations, right? Then we look into the weekly charts. So weekly charts, you know that the 3-week high, is around 9557 levels in futures. In futures, of course, spot right now it's trading around 9557 levels. So I say like this is going to be an important reference to me because this is the nearest swing high which I am able to see on my daily charts. If I go to my daily charts, let me go to the daily charts. So here is my daily charts. What I'm trying to see here is that this is the nearest swing high. Of course, many traders might be watching those swing high levels. So many traders might be trying to trade such kind of breakout trades. Many traders might be thinking about that, right? Because traders watch a swing high, swing lows, and whatnot, right? So they watch trend lines, and so last week they've been watching about a trend line here. So they try to draw a trend line here, and then break of this trend line is short for them, right? So you see that it looks like a short, and it is not a short. It looks like a short, it is not a short. In fact, it went back up. So that is the beauty of trend lines. That's the one of the primary reason I don't use trend lines, but still I try to measure. If other traders are posting trend lines, I check. I try to have a measure how the trend lines are behaving, right? Anyways, I'm not against trend lines, but trend lines are mostly used by traders. Do I use in my studies? I don't use it in my studies. Just only to check what the traders are trying to do. Usually, traders they try to plot trend lines. All right. Of course, I'm a trader as well, so that doesn't mean like I have to use trend lines. So the volatility perspective, what you're seeing here is that volatility is slowly slowing down, but still every month there was a substantial volatility is a weekly perspective. So still the numbers are at 645 levels. So still this week can be again volatile. 400 to 500 points up and down range can be anticipated. So means a very big move possibilities are there for the series. And last couple of weeks markets are not disappointing. Last couple of weeks we had seen 400 points, 300 points, and in fact last Friday we had almost 500 plus points price action in the entire last week. So volatility on the weekly is there still, but still slowly slowing down. And daily, if you see that volatility totally it is down, but still it is having a reasonable volatility. Still it is at 259 levels on a daily basis. A minimum of 100 to 200 point range is there. So very good intraday volatility is there. Even though it looks like a sideways market, the volatility in the market is very, very good. And if you see the structure also, monthly is down. And if you see the weekly structure, weekly is kind of trying to turn up, but I would say that I would still see this as a consolidation. So still price is trying to consolidate in this band. Still price is trying to consolidate in this band. Maybe price is trying to create a consolidation in this band here. At this point of time, I am not commenting that weekly trend is up, but I'll say weekly trend is still sideways. Still it's inside the band. Still within this 9,000 to 10,000 band, where the price is trading in this band for almost 2 months. So undoubtedly, weekly is in sideways, and daily it is clearly up. Every day it's keep on making higher lows. It keeps on making last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Last 5 days, price keep on inching up. Trend is clearly up. but volatility is coming down. So that's so the bigger lengthy candles are now compressed to smaller candles. So smaller candles over here, a lot of smaller candles over here, but still this is a still significant volatility in the markets. We cannot misrepresent the volatility, or we cannot underestimate the volatility also. Volatility is still higher compared to the historical standards. So here, this is a historical standard where the volatility is dead, less than 100 points, where it's mostly dull, boring markets. You can see the candles. If you would have traded in March, then according to you, all these sections are dull, boring sessions, dull, boring candles. All right, so not much of an opportunity over here, whereas opportunity has been bigger, and in fact implied volatility also exploded. That is one of the reason premium got exploded. Now the premium has been slowing down. So, but needless to forget that this is where the lockdown 1.2 started. So lockdown 1.0, this is lockdown 1.0 started, and then lockdown 1.2 went over here. Lockdown 1.2, it went till the uptrend. So this is where 2.0 here, and then 3 and 4, 3.0 and 4.0. So entire lockdown price managed to stay with an uptrend. Even this series also, I'm not expecting any major crashes because very good supports has been built from the market profile structure. So maybe at least in the first half, I'm not expecting any, at least the coming series, I'm not expecting any bigger damage. Maybe things might change because markets are always in a changing nature. We have to always take one step at a time in these kind of scenarios. You cannot think about what will happen in the entire week. Since the volatility is still high, we have to go one step at a week. Right? Even though my initial thinking is that 9,000 to 10,200 levels for the series as per the straddles, right? As per the strangles, we need to reevaluate this probably every 1 week. We need to reevaluate this. At this point of time, my assumption is that Nifty could trade between 9,000 to 10,200, but that could change. That view could change. So I don't need to trade this view exactly, but this is in mind. I've just kept my lower weightage to that. And coming back to the lower time frame, so I had taken a 15-minute time frame. So there is an island gap reversal over here. So there is a small island gap reversal in this zone between 9,600 to 9,700. Maybe this looks like a higher probability because short-term trend is up, daily trend is up. So maybe if there is any correction coming in, the correction on Monday. So if, let's say that price opens here, or maybe let's say the price opens casually up. It try to go up and then try to fall down, take some supports, and then might try to go on the upside. So what I'm thinking at this point of time is maybe price opens around 9557 kind of levels, very near to this island gap reversal, trying to make traders to think that markets are going down, but eventually they will try to spoof the traders and try to go and close this island gap reversal. So if you understand island gap reversal, last week we had a similar island gap reversal. That island gap reversal, which I've been talking about, that is what one of my target also. So that target got achieved. So this series also, I'm expecting 9,700 kind of levels. I'm expecting this gap, the gap which created, right? The gap which got created on the 30th May, this low, right? That gap, I'm expecting this gap to get a closure. So short-term trend is still bullish. Let's go and check the market profile levels, what we had learned from the market profile. Market profile levels, if you see, there's a very strong support band got created around these levels. So this level is around 9,150 to 9,250, a band of supports. A lot of single prints got created. And structure-wise, so far the structure is going good. So structure-wise, there are no emotions, no clear buying is happening. Short-term traders, and they came for the buy. In fact, a lot of traders, especially big traders, they came and bought this. Some of the exchange members, probably speaking, we can call them like a short-term traders. Most of the short-term traders, or we can call them like a dealers. So dealers, they bought this markets on this particular day and this particular day. In fact, a lot of long-term activity, long-term activity happened over here. So, and more long-term activity happened over here as well. on this particular level. So long-term players came over here, long-term buyers came over here. Now short-term buyers are coming and playing over here. So two places, short-term players accumulated. That means still the buyers are not running out of options. So still maybe they might try to buy it on dips. So even if there is any gap up coming in, let's say that 9,600 price on Monday, more or less, even if there is any big gap up or gap down, that discount will be dissolved. Probably the Monday itself, that bigger discounts, 100-point discounts, which was there because of the fear, it get resolved first. I think that is what I'm just trying to anticipate first. Later on, my trading decision will happen. Until that, it is not going to get resolved. It's not a good idea to take any positions in futures also, any position in options also. So most likely news is out. So Monday, the volatility crush is likely to happen. And that means after the volatility crush is what your trade, let it be a long trade or let it be a short trade, it has to happen over here. So I think most likely from Monday perspective, one have to prepare for an intraday scenarios. So later on, we'll discuss about the possible intraday scenarios. Right, so let's go and check what are the other options, other data points which are available at this point of time. So at this point of time, this is a big supports we've been able to see, and targets for the next series. I'm expecting the gap reversal. Maybe that could come either like a gap up open around 9557 level, breakout failure, again come back and close this 9600 levels. This is a kind of thinking I'm having at this point of time. Probably supports will be around the 9,400 levels. At this point of time, short-term supports are there at 9,400. Let me show you why I'm saying that 9,400 is the kind of a support zone. It is a support zone because according to me, it's a support zone. Because if you go back and check the Trade Studio indicator version 5, right? This is a Nifty futures. If I'm going on a 15-minute chart, I prefer to use 15-minute charts. Last Friday, it again turned long, and means I don't think on Monday there could be a sell signal. Monday, the odds of sell signal formation can happen only if Nifty is going to trade down below 9,409. So my downside expectation, I don't have much of an anticipation down below 9,400. Anything down below 9,400, yes, things may go serious. But at this point of time, I'm just thinking that I don't think 9,400 is going to get breached at this point of time. Things are still, the sentiment is going good. No emotions in the markets. Only fear is there among the option writers. But big traders, they're not having any fear at this point of time. And if we look into the hourly as well, hourly also in buy mode. So if this hourly is turning into buy mode, usually they don't give up that easily. At least they might be, this buy trend might be running for another 3 or 4 days. At least their next 3-4 days, they might not be breaking 9363 kind of levels. So overall, I'm just thinking that Monday 9,400 could be a better support levels. So that doesn't mean like you have to go only longs, right? What I'm trying to say here is you control your expectation on the downside. I'm not expecting any immediate big downside. Even if any downside is coming in, that could be more of an intraday dip. Many chances are there that it can be bought back. Because at this point of time, I'm not seeing any emotions from the traders. Trend is going good. Trend is turned up. Last Friday, we seen that trend was positive. In fact, I said like I've been using one of the indicator called the Turbo RSI, right? So Turbo RSI, last Friday I had explained that it's an indicator from Trade Studio. So if I go to the price, and I prefer to watch this indicator on a daily time frame. So let me go to the charting section. I'll go and pull up Turbo RSI. All right, so Turbo RSI. This sentiment has been maintaining positive since 28th onwards. So how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 days the sentiment has been maintaining. And I think maybe next 2-3 days also the sentiment has higher odds of maintaining positive. If something has to get disturbed, the 9,400 levels has to get broken. And then things could change over there. So as long as this is not getting broken, so there is one form of cushion is there that we should think only within that limitation, right? So as long as 9,400 is not broken, probably any dips we should learn to buy, or any buying opportunity, I mean any selling opportunity, any intraday selling opportunity is there, go and sell, or any intraday buying opportunity is there, just go and buy. So Monday, we don't know when that buying opportunity is going to happen, or when that intraday selling opportunity is going to happen. So that requires live monitoring during the live market hours. But preparation is more important here, especially if you're having a very big negative sentiment. I guess very less they will be favored, because already it is priced in. Already that big crash, even if there is a big crash, it's already priced in. Even if big crash is going to happen on Monday also, the put buyers are not going to get benefited, especially the Monday who is coming and buying the puts. They're not going to get benefited no matter what the market does. Especially the Monday, any put writer, any put buyers who is coming and buying fresh puts, that is, they are not going to get benefited. Maybe they might benefited once this volatility is get resolved. The big skew in the market is getting resolved, and the discount is getting resolved. Only in that case, there are higher chances that put buyers should come and buy naked buying puts. So we are in a kind of a different scenario. I would say that compared to the last 4 weeks, this week is completely going to be a different game. And of course, slightly challenging also. At least not last week, it was not challenging much, because market keeps on moving in a one-sided fashion. Just give me a minute. I'll be back in a minute. So the overall expectation, I had put everything on the slide. Monthly, last 5 months, it is going down, and weekly, it is going in sideways, and daily, it is up. Volatility, it's going down. Daily volatility is slowing down. Weekly volatility is slowing down. Implied volatility is at 22, 23 levels. India VIX is at 30 levels. And what we have to monitor is that most of the time we have to, I think 9577, that is a very important level to monitor on Monday morning, and also previous day high as well. And the trading sentiment, right? The trading sentiment is positive. So still it is maintaining positive. Big supports are there at 9150, 9250 single print levels. So overall expectation is that still trend is up. Maybe if there is any quick intraday shorts in the second half, right? I don't think first half we should wait and watch. And then if there is any shorting opportunity, most likely my shorting opportunity, I'll be waiting till the second half to take a shorting opportunity in the second half. Or if markets are opening gap down and still 9,400 is getting defended, I might consider looking for a buy on dips markets also here. Of course, I have a reference level 9,400 on the downside. So the overall global market mood completely, it turned bullish, and the GDP methods, right? The GDP is anticipated as per the consensus. In fact, consensus are expecting even much lower GDP numbers, which is way much better. And if you look into the open interest levels also not giving much of a clue. Weekly is having 9,200 to 9,700 levels, and monthly is having 9,000 to 9,500, and also 10,500 levels. So monthly is still slightly bullish, but weekly is kind of a range bound possibilities are there, 9,200 to 9,700. So that's the reason I'm saying that maybe the upper expectation, you have to limit yourself to 9,700 levels. If you're having a long view, you should limit for this next week to 9,700 levels. So there are very higher chances are there going by this 9,300 to 9,700 is a fair expectation. 9,300 to 9,700 is a 400-point range. So, however, weekly volatility, if you see the weekly volatility is still at 645 levels. So it's better to anticipate a lower range, lower than 645 levels, because volatility is cooling down. That means smaller candles on the weekly charts are possible less than 645. So in that view, 9,300 to 9,700 is a better range for the next entire week. So yeah, of course, before getting into the other part, right? So there is a small promo here. We are doing a 6-week mentorship program on options, especially for the option traders and the option traders who want to learn market profile, to take a view, how to take a view during live markets, how to take an intraday view, how to take a view that market can go sideways. So last Friday, I had taken a view saying that this day market can balance. So if you go back and check out my Slack feeds, in fact, I also posted in the Telegram channel. Let me show it in the Telegram. So Telegram, let me go to market calls. So market calls _IN is my Telegram feed. So this was my last Friday's anticipation. Last Friday, I was having an anticipation that mostly rotational trading days with lower volumes as event is nearing, most likely market will be compressed, especially Nifty futures. This is a view I had taken on Nifty futures. I thought like more and more sideways action can happen on last Friday. This is very much anticipated because if you're watching the events very closely, near to the events, there are many times market goes like this, especially when there is an opinion, crowd has an opinion and the things are going in an anticipated direction. Usually market takes a pass and then it will continue from Monday onwards. So I haven't had any negative view so far, at least in the last 2 weeks. Let me go back and quickly move on to the very important setup. So even the Slack as well, we've been keep on monitoring the sessions where the entire day we've been expecting rotational possibilities. So this is what my last Friday's talk is all about. So 6 TPO wide and enough, that means markets are getting more and more balanced. So this is how the last Friday's activity went. More and more crowded activity started happening here. More and more dealers started buying at these levels. So a lot of dealer buying happened around 9,420 kind of levels. And last 2 hours, there was a slow and steady price action. Even though Nifty futures was moving slower, Nifty spot went higher and it closed even plus 100 points almost. So overall, Nifty futures it haven't get realized. And now this is not something new. Any day, whenever the fear is rising, these kind of bigger discounts are always possible. Whenever there is an election results or post-election results, or even last expiry, there was a 20-point discount which was running, but still market went up, right? So don't try to put too much of thing into the mind, like minus 100 points discount. Oh, it's bearish. You know, sometimes market will resolve it in a bearish way. Sometimes market will resolve in a bullish way. So don't try to put too much into the mind about that 100-point discount. You just have to forget and then you have to act casually. Better don't trade anything and then come on Monday and then let the things get resolved or that. And anyways, market will be taking a direction. Later on, we have to come and play in this kind of market environment. So I would say, like, if you ask me, will I go and participate before GDP announcement? Will I go and get into any trade? I don't do anything. So that sort of. Basically, I'm a trader. I would like for any economic events, especially when the entire world knows what is going to happen, and the entire world knows what the number is going to be, and number is also going to be the same thing. It's better to avoid such kind of events because when the things are public, right, everyone knows now what to do. So when everyone knows what to do, that is what we call as a consensus. When that kind of consensus happens, we should be slightly skeptical about that. So we need to take a precautionary measures. So go back neutral and come back on Monday with the fresh thoughts. So that could be the fresh idea. I would say that's how you can save a lot of money there. Otherwise, you go with these numbers by 100 points discount or big put options are getting priced in. So usually it's not a good way of looking into it. All right. So anyways, coming back to the topic here. So we have been doing a 2-part session, especially for the traders who are very new to options. We are giving them an 20 plus hours on option strategies, especially how to take an unbiased view with an objective analysis. And in Option Hydra advanced section, we're going to talk a lot about market profile, how to use market profile, especially during live markets, how to take intraday trades, how to take a positional trades, how to identify whether the trend has been topped out or not, or how you should interpret the open interest, how you have to combine open interest with market profile. So that kind of analysis will be there. So if you are very new to Option Hydra, just go and check out optionhydra.com. So you can go and check out Option Hydra, right? So Option Hydra, of course, optionhydra.com. So you can see the complete agenda, all the details over here. All right. So let me fast forward straight away to the access. So as a part of this access, part of this course, you will be getting an access to 1 year of access to the recorded webinars. The previous Option Hydra webinars, the one which we had done in the March series, every quarter we used to do Option Hydra program. And the March series, we had done almost 90 plus hours of session on both option basic and option advanced. So that access you will be getting it. And also the current access also you'll be getting access to that live recorded sessions as well. And lifetime access to our own private trading community. You'll be part of our Market Call Slack community. You can come and ask any number of questions. And lifetime access to live community webinars. So you'll be keep on doing a lot of live community webinars. Very frequently we'll be keep on doing on various topics like AmiBroker, market profile, automation. Right, and also this time we planned to provide a 3 month of complimentary access to the Trade Studio for both Option Hydra basic and advanced users. So both the traders will get an 3 month of complimentary access to Trade Studio in AmiBroker. And we'll be teaching, basically we'll be using throughout the session, we'll be using AmiBroker, Ninja Trader and Option Action tool to take a view and to trade the view. We will be using this 3 platforms simultaneously. And of course, I use it, all the 3 platforms simultaneously. And most of my traders in my community uses AmiBroker, Ninja Trader and Algo Action kind of platforms. So we learned about the volatility skew, right? So it's a downward skew. That is what last week also we discussed about it. That is primarily because of the OTM puts are hedged by the big long only traders. In fact, this time the calls also getting skewed. Calls are priced lower price has been there because more call writers came and wrote 9,800 kind of call options. So if you look into the open interest, still that 9,000 is standing very tall. So that means not much of a bearishness. At least in the first half of the series, I'm not expecting major bearishness. So second half, we need to reevaluate. This is the second half of July, whether there is any chances of a big bearishness is likely to happen or not. So at least first week, I'm not expecting. Second week also most likely I'm not expecting because weekly is still in the balancing mode. If weekly is still in the balancing mode, it's better to wait. If you want to short in this market, you have to learn to wait, right? So learning to wait is a key game over here. And yeah, overall next week, this is my overall next week view. So current trading view is positive. And positional supports comes around 9360 and 9,400 levels. That means this week I'm considering 9,400 as a support zones, and the odds of clearing that island gap reversal, which we're discussing, 9,700, which is most likely possible in next week. Next week, there are very high chances are there that it's going to be a very important reference level, and 9,400 levels is going to be the level to monitor for every bullishness. As long as that 9,400 is not broken, one can consider holding longs. Even one can even come and buy the dips also. So that's the immediate view. And of course, there is a new margin framework is getting implemented for this week, right? So June 1st onwards, we're going to start with a new margin framework. What we can anticipate from this new margin framework is that overall reduction in margins on spread trades like call spreads or bull call spread or bear call spread, mostly spread trades. So this series, in fact, we're going to discuss many things about spread trades because it's going to change. It's a game changer for the traders who are already buying naked calls and naked puts, who want a better approach to the trading strategies. I guess these spread trades and hedged futures. In fact, hedged futures, there is a bigger margin reduction is there, which I'm going to talk about it. And in fact, there is a straddles and strangles also. There is a big cut in the margins. So the ROI of the hedged strategies will go up from here onwards. More traders will try to trade hedged futures. So a bigger game changer for the option traders, I would say that. So most likely it's a good opportunity for the naked sellers also, because they can go and hedge their risk with a reduced margin. For the naked sellers, it's a kind of, we can say like, it's an heavenly thing for the naked sellers, because their margin reduces. If you're going to do naked selling, you're going to pay bigger margin. Instead, if you're going to hedge your position, your risk also reduces, so your margin reduces drastically. So I want to show you a simple example on the futures. So let me go to the Google and let me type the margin span calculator. Margin calculator, just type margin calculator. Will be taken to the brokers portal. These days, most of the brokers are having a margin calculator, F&O margin calculator. If you go and say, if you're going to buy, let's say I'm just trying to buy a naked Nifty futures. I'm just simply buying the Nifty futures. So let's say I'm just buying, I selected buy, lot size is 75, futures, June, I'll try to add. So your total margin here is 1.34 lakhs. This is going to be the margin. The margin is going to increase if you're going to buy only naked futures. But if you're going to hedge with options, let's say I'm just going to hedge it with options. I'm just going to buy a put option to hedge my longs. I bought longs, and I'm going to buy 9,300 put. I'm just thinking that market will not go down below 9,300 put. In case, I'll try to buy it as a security feature. And now I'll click on the ad. So I'm just trying to buy this futures. So I'm just trying to hedge my futures. If I'm going to hedge my futures, see that margin comes down drastically to 39,000. 40,000, kind of 40,000 rupees. You can now carry forward your futures along with hedged put options. But then to execute this, you need to know how to execute in a spread trades. So now even this is a better future for the traders. If you're going to hedge it, many traders will try to trade in futures also. Many traders will try to trade in futures because margins are coming down. So many traders will get into this kind of hedging mode. This is only with hedged trades. But on top of that, there are a lot many spread trades. Let me show you. I'm not going to operate over here. However, I had taken a screenshot for you. So the hedged trades. So this is bull put spread. If you see that, I'm just trying to buy an 9,200. I'm just trying to sell an 9,200 put option, and I'm trying to buy a 9,000 put option. This is a kind of a bull put spread, usually option writer strategy, especially the income generation techniques. Most of the traders, they try to use the option margin comes to the total margin involves over here, even come down drastically to 28,000. And iron condors kind of strikes, butterfly kind of strikes, option, the total premium, not the premium, that the total margin you're going to pay to the broker reduces a lot. The total margin you're going to pay to the exchange, it reduces a lot. In fact, bear call spreads, again, these are hedged strategies, low risk, low reward kind of strategies. These kind of strategies, the total margin reduces. So means your profitability will be like something like 10,000 rupees, but the risk you're taking is 27,000 rupees. No matter, even if the market crashes also, you are not going to lose much. So it's a highly safer strategies, the bull put spread and bear call spread kind of option writing strategies. More traders will try to experiment from here on, because the returns and those kind of strategies increases. So more traders will move from naked call buying or naked put buying to these kind of hedged strategies. And last but not least, the weekly straddles. These are weekly straddles. So June weekly series had made a straddles. Straddles, not much. That is a usual benefit is there. But still, that is a benefit is very, very bigger, right? So 1.47 lakhs you have to pay, because straddles are slightly riskier. Straddles or strangles. They are not hedged position. Risk is still there, but still it is not as risky as futures. So the overall margin reduction was there in this segment as well. So if you are using it in a right manner, of course, it's going to be a beneficial thing for you as a trader. I guess more traders will be trying to use, more traders will be jumping to use something like hedged futures. Hedged futures is what most of the traders would like to go and use it. Highly recommended to use hedged futures from here on, because your overnight risk reduces a lot, and you can go and sleep with a peaceful thing. You don't need to worry about what if market tomorrow crashes by 10% or 20%. That kind of worry thing, you don't need to have it, because with the cheaper puts, you can convert your futures into you can convert into the better strategies, right? So that by risk reduces a lot. So I guess this series I've been ending this week a little bit earlier, and hope I'll see you everyone in this Option Hydra program. And make sure that if you haven't watched all the past 4 sessions, just go back and watch it. A lot of interesting learning was there, and I hope this new margin framework will bring more meaningful trade setups and more risk controlled trades in the upcoming future in your trades. Thank you.